What's going on, guys? You're watching the Shield Bearer of Faith. So I thought of a metaphor a few minutes ago while making a video for Patreon that I felt like sharing with everybody or whoever would listen. You know, there are times where people think that God has abandoned them, that they have no proof that God exists and that there's every reason to think He doesn't. Because how can there be a loving God who does not give you what you want or doesn't keep painful things from coming to you or whatever the case is, right? A lot of people give these explanations for why God isn't good or why He doesn't exist at all, why He can't possibly be all loving. And you know, I've had days with my daughter that feel very similar to what I assume and believe in my heart that God must see and do for us. I can control my daughter. She's 3 years old. I can have a grip so tight on her arm that she cannot get away from me because I am much more powerful than she is. I'm much stronger. I can grab her arm and keep her within my grasp. So if we're walking through a parking lot, right, and you don't want her to get hit by a car, you keep that grip so that she can't get away and she doesn't get hurt, right? But it's much better and much more pleasant for everyone, me and her, if she would hold my hand and willingly follow with me, willingly go down the direction that I would try to lead her. So again, in the parking lot, if my daughter would hold my hand, I don't need to have a death grip on it. I don't have to assume absolute control, even though I can. If she would hold my hand and walk with her daddy through that parking lot, I would keep her safe. I would guide her down the right direction. Doesn't mean bad things can't happen. Doesn't mean we don't still live in the world where a car could back up and strike one of us, but I'm guiding her down the better path, right? There are still also times where my daughter wants to pull away from me because she's 3, she's a child. I'm her father. And when she wants to pull away, maybe I have to tighten my grip. And then there are those times where for her benefit and for her to learn the lesson, whatever the lesson would be, when she wants to pull away from me, maybe the better option, the more loving, fatherly option is to let her go. Let her do what she wants to do. Let her go toward whatever end she's sprinting towards. Maybe that's jumping off the couch. Maybe that's riding her bicycle too fast in a circle and she's about to flip. Whatever it would be, sometimes the more loving, fatherly thing is to let my daughter, my child, who I love more than anything, experience that little bit of pain for the long-term gain. So sometimes, instead of me assuming absolute control and using my power and authority to grab her and say, "You will not leave here," sometimes I release and I let her go and do what she thinks she wants to do. Because she's 3 and she has it in her mind that she knows what is best for her. Sometimes the most effective way for me to prove her wrong is not by telling her. I can tell her all day that, nope, if you do this, it's gonna hurt. You jump off that chair, it's gonna hurt. You do this, it's not gonna feel good. It's not gonna give you the satisfaction that you think you want. Sometimes she just doesn't hear it. And so sometimes I let go and I allow her to feel the pain so that she will learn. And then when she falls or bumps her head or scrapes her knee, because I love her more than anything, I come back over and offer my hand again. Hold my hand out and I'll say, "Baby doll, come up here to Daddy. Are you okay?" And I'll take her hand, because almost without fail, almost every time, when she is in that despair, that painful moment, whatever it would be, she'll reach both her arms back up because she wants her daddy. She wants her father or her mother, whichever metaphor you'd rather hear. And so I'll pick her up and I will tell her it's going to be all right. But there's a reason Daddy told you not to do that. Daddy knows more. Daddy loves you. Daddy doesn't want bad things to happen to you. I'm your father. I wish you would listen to me. And if you want to do whatever you want to do, sometimes I'm just not going to help you do bad things. Sometimes I'm not going to help you make bad decisions. Sometimes a loving father will just let you do what you think you want to do. Isn't that exactly identical to what our Heavenly Father does? It's what it feels like. It's always happened to me. I'll go head first into a brick wall because I'm pulling away from Him so hard. And sometimes I think God gets tired of us tugging against Him. And I think He says, okay, go ahead. I'll be here when it hurts. That's what He does for us. We're not guaranteed cupcakes and rainbows. Your life is not guaranteed to be perfect. It will have trials and painful moments. But when you are willingly asking for God to take your hand and guide you through that metaphorical parking lot of life, it will result in a better outcome. It will result in a more fulfilling existence. It will result in better relationships with your Heavenly Father. Because as a human father, I would much rather my daughter just take my hand, take her father's hand, and just walk with me. Because I love her. And I have a general sense of what a better direction for her is. Because I know. So if she would willingly take my hand, instead of pulling away from me and trying to run headfirst into her metaphorical brick wall, she would have a better outcome. I think there's so much that we can learn from worldly parenting that can relate directly to the concept of a Heavenly Father. God has the power. He is strong enough to assert absolute authority and reach His hand out and grab you and say, you will not get away from me. But He doesn't do that. Sometimes, after He has tried and nudged and reasoned with and done everything He can do to show you why this decision that you're so determined to make is a bad idea, He will just let go. And then after you're in pain and you've done whatever you were going to do and it hurts really bad and you've made bad decisions and you're regretting them and you look up and you say, Dad, I am so sorry. Would you help me? And just like my daughter, when you hold your hand out and you ask for your Heavenly Father's help, He repeatedly reaches back down and picks you up. Every time. The real learning, though, the real benefit to being a Christ follower, which is the term I always use, I follow Jesus the Christ, is that hopefully I minimize or mitigate the frequency that I try to pull away. Hopefully, I don't do it as often or as long or feel as much pain from my own stupid decisions. hopefully, I am more willing to walk willingly, hand in hand with God. Doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. Doesn't mean I don't try to assert my knowledge and authority, right, and pull away. Just hopefully it decreases the frequency and the time. I would much rather my daughter learn the lessons that I teach her by listening to what I have already told her. Just like I am confident our Heavenly Father wishes for us. I hope it helps, guys. God does love you, even when it hurts. And He is there for you, especially when it hurts. And I'll see you later.